that mold was cast in the 1950s, and they really thought you needed to have meat with every meal, and it was the American way to have those big steaks and those bacon and egg breakfasts, and a lot of people making a lot of money off producing those products. So the meat and dairy industry did all they could do to inculcate that, insinuate that into the dogma of the basic four food groups and all of that. Got to have that meat, got to have that milk. And it echoes to this day. But it's an old 1950s model, and we're dying of 1950s diseases when we eat that way, and it clogs our arteries and raises our blood pressure, gives us heart attacks and strokes. The protein drives cancer growth. It's not a healthy diet. We are not mountain lions. We have the same digestive system as our gorilla.
We're not baby cows either.
We're not baby calves either. We have the milk products are problematic as well. So it's time to leave that behind.
Welcome to Plant the Change. I'm Michelle Fosnot, founder of Solid Rock, Florida, an innovative nonprofit that includes Solid Rock Community School, providing K-12 education, and the Sanctuary at Solid Rock, offering lifelong care for animals in need. We're a forward-thinking, eco-advanced organization dedicated to compassionate, humane education. Hello, friends. Welcome to Plant the Change. Today we have a special guest who embodies the Solid Rock core values of healthy living and global responsibility, bringing a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. Dr. Michael Klaper is a graduate of the University of Illinois College of Medicine in Chicago. He has practiced acute care medicine in California, Hawaii, Canada, Florida, and New Zealand. After a 50-year career as a primary care physician, Dr. Klaper, a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, now focuses on the nonprofit Moving Medicine Forward initiative, where he shares his medical students and fellow health professionals the science of how health-promoting food and lifestyle choices can arrest and reverse chronic disease. A longtime radio host and a pilot, Dr. Klaper has served as a nutrition advisor to NASA's programs for space colonists on the Moon and Mars, and on the Nutrition Task Force of the American Medical Students Association. On his websites, drklaper.com, visitors can find the latest nutrition information through his numerous articles and videos. And at movingmedforward.com, you can learn about the Moving Medicine Forward initiative to promote applied nutrition being taught in medical schools. Dr. Klaper is also an esteemed member of the Solid Rock Committee, where he contributes his extensive knowledge and passion for plant-based nutrition and lifestyle medicine to our school's initiatives. Today, we are thrilled to discuss the benefits of a plant-based diet with you and gain your insights on how it can enhance the health and well-being of our students and school community, and of course, for all of our other listeners. Welcome, Dr. Klaper, to Plant the Change. So my first question, Dr. Klaper, is can you briefly explain the primary benefits of a plant-based diet for all people, but especially how they relate to children?
Oh my, that's in some ways the question for the ages. You know, you got a few minutes to discuss it. It's so important, but really to get to the heart of the question. When one raises a child on a plant-based food stream and they reach adulthood, they are fundamentally a different creature biologically, physiologically, biochemically. They have different microorganisms in their intestinal tract. They've got a different microbiome. They've got different patterns of liver enzymes. And every meal, every plant-based meal has been bathing their tissues with the vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that repair DNA, that stabilize membranes, that optimize normal function, as opposed to their wonderful omnivore colleagues and cohorts in their class now who've been running a stream of burgers and fried chicken and buffalo wings and pepperoni pizzas and cola drinks through their bloodstream on a regular basis. These are oxidizing agents. These are molecules that set off inflammation. and start the aging process, where the folks who've been eating a plant-based diet, their aging processes are proceeding at a much more gentle pace. On every level, they're different creatures. The plant-based food stream, with all its fruits and vegetables and soups and salads, is a high water content food stream. A lot of water in all those soups and salads and veggies. So the blood of someone eating that food stream is less viscous, it's more watery. It flows more easily through the capillary beds. It brings more oxygen and nutrients to the brain and other tissues. And that's going to change things for the better in their nervous system. So by the time they reach adulthood, they are indeed different creatures. Different genes have been awakened. The whole science of epigenetics, we now know that the food we eat 2, 3 times a day washes through our cells, and they turn genes on, they turn genes off, they induce enzymes, they shut enzymes down. And the folks the young people who've been eating the plant-based diet that have turned on genes that, again, retard the growth of cancer, suppress inflammation, normal functioning, like our gorilla cousins who eat leaves and fruit and vegetation all day. They don't develop high blood pressure, they don't develop clogged arteries, and the same with these young people. They've been given a get out of jail free card as far as the standard diseases that their cohorts, their contemporaries are going to face: the obesity and diabetes and high blood pressure. They're going to stay lean, healthy people with open arteries throughout their adulthood. What a gift to give to a child, to give to a young person growing up. So, and the awareness, the consciousness, because they know they've been eating plant-based, and if they have parents aware enough to direct that food stream through them, then no doubt they've talked about the reality of food production in America today, and what an animal-based diet inflicts upon the planet and upon all those innocent animals. And so they've got an awareness of the planet, of their place as responsible civic beings, that their food choices make a difference for all their ecological futures. So I think they're more aware young people as well. So again, a long answer, but it touches on these major issues of our day, of personal health, of public expenditures in our healthcare system, and the planet and the global warming. What the plant-based food stream that is being exemplified at Solid Rock. You folks serve it to the kids. You give it to them, and you celebrate it. The lesson in that, the example that sets, is another gift that Solid Rock gives.
Hi, friends. Your support can help make the difference by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the Plant the Change podcast. You can also visit us at solidrockflorida.org to learn more about Solid Rock Community School and the Sanctuary at Solid Rock. Your support makes a real impact, and it helps plant the change. I love listening to you talk. Once you started talking, I was like, yes, I always love listening to you talk. You're so amazing. You have so much information, so much knowledge. And I think it's so important for parents to hear. I think they have to hear it. And sometimes they need to hear it over and over and over again. And so I say to them, press rewind and listen to that again, because that was just all amazing, all amazing. You touched base on this, but how do you feel about Solid Rock being one of only 2 schools in the United States to have an exclusive plant-based kitchen?
That makes me proud of you and happy for you, and to know that the good that's going to create again in all these young people's lives by the example it sets, the teaching it sets, is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And it's also sad and frustrating that
Yes.
you are the only 2, and because this should be standard of therapies there, medical model there, but the standard of education that, of course, as in all hospitals, of course you feed your patients a plant-based diet. Well, of course you feed the students in your school a plant-based diet for all the reasons we've talked about: health and ecology and animal concerns. So good for you guys. Just keep shining that light. You need to set an example to other schools, boards of education. Yes, you can do this. If
That's the
financially
goal.
and it's a good thing to do for your students. And the garden is so wonderful. That's the whole chain of it. So keep shining that light and setting that example. It's beyond valuable. It's priceless.
Thank you so much. So, what impact do you think that our plant based kitchen can have on our students? So, here's something that would be interesting for parents. So, when we're talking about things like health, well being, behavior, concentration, academic performance, compared to a traditional school meal.
Well, we get into some uh, speculation when it comes to physiology as far as how much does one's diet affect your emotions, affect your mental function, etc. But the more we learn about the holistic nature of the body, how much the food you eat determines the microbes that live in our gut. And these microbes, in turn, put out neurotransmitters. When one eats a plant-based food stream, you foster the growth of good bacteria, the Prevotella bacteria, and their byproducts are positive neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine and oxytocin. These are feel-good chemicals that work their way back up to the brain. People's moods improve, and if we're talking about young people and teenagers, that's a very good thing. And does it help? Does it help their academic performance? I can't see it hurting it in any way. And it's hard to do these studies, but I have to wonder when most kids are eating that fast food standard American diet and the steady stream of burgers and fried chicken, and buffalo wings, and dairy products are going in. That does affect certainly affects their microbiome. We know they've got different microbes in there from the Bacteroidetes species and other not so friendly bacteria. But what is the chemistry of their brain? How does it react to a stream of saturated fats and oxidized animal muscles and free radicals and advanced glycation end products all flowing up through the brain with every fast food meal? As that happens month after month, year after year, does it have no effect on these young people and their biochemistry of their brain? So many young people are acting out in very difficult ways, especially in urban environments, especially when you add in alcohol, testosterone, and firearms. I think the diet plays a role in that toxic combination there. And it seems that the kids are eating rice and beans and greens and fruits and vegetables. They're going to have a gentler microbiome, if you will. It's hard to measure that scientifically. But I have a feeling that it's certainly going to do good things for them on the behavior level as well as the academic performance level.
Okay, I know you're going to have some good things to say about this one, so I can't wait. Okay, so at Solid Rock, we use the American College of Lifestyle Medicine Healthy Plate because that's my favorite one. And that one, as you know, is fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and plant-based proteins and water as a beverage. The traditional food pyramid, however, and the current healthy plate, they still have animal products as proteins and milk as the chosen beverage. So what is your feeling and opinion on that?
Well, it's hard, not to be a bit uncharitable, but that mold was cast in the 1950s, and they really thought you needed to have meat with every meal, and it was the American way to have those big steaks and those bacon and egg breakfasts, and a lot of people making a lot of money off producing those products. So the meat and dairy industry did all they could do to inculcate that, insinuate that into the dogma of the basic four food groups and all of that. Got to have that meat, got to have that milk, and it echoes to this day. And as I said, the agribusiness industries certainly want to keep that money and those subsidies flowing. They're doing quite well in producing these animal products, and so we're stuck with that model. but it's an old 1950s model, and we're dying of 1950s diseases when we eat that way, and it clogs our arteries and raises our blood pressure, gives us heart attacks and strokes. The protein drives cancer growth. It's not a healthy diet. We are not mountain lions. We have the same digestive system as our
We're not
gorilla.
baby cows either.
We're not baby calves. We have no
Right.
milk products are problematic as well. So it's time to leave that behind. The college lifestyle medicine plate, makes a lot of sense. And well, where are you going to get your protein? The same place that elephants and buffaloes and giraffes and the most powerful animals on the planet get their protein from plants. It's in the beans, it's in the grains, it's in the legumes, the beans, peas, chickpeas, lentils, the whole grains and nuts. There's plenty of protein. You won't be protein deficient here. Hummus sandwich, a scoop of lentil stew, a bean burrito, some bean chili. There are plenty of ways to get that protein into your daily food stream. So let's leave that 1950s model behind. We've outgrown it. It's time to get plant-based protein onto our plates and water in that glass. I was so proud of the Canadians when they came out
Yes.
with their
Right.
food groups and water wound
And
up
they put the water on. Yep.
great because the
They
Canadian
did good.
dairy industry, they're heavy hitters, but someone had the courage to put water in that glass, and I think we're all benefiting from that.
Yeah, I agree. So I was someone who had a ton of health problems. I was previously sick and disabled with progressive MS and lupus. And then I switched to a plant based diet purely for ethical reasons. And then within 48 hours, my health started just completely improving. I had major improvements for things that I had been dealing with decades. You have actually said proper nutrition through a whole food, plant based diet and a balanced lifestyle is essential for health and can be the difference between healing an illness or treating its symptoms. That's a quote from you. What can you say to adults out there who are listening about their current diet and how it affects them and their children to encourage them to make diet changes now, not to wait until they're sick, but to make them now? Some parents are going to worry about their children getting all the necessary nutrients and all that kind of stuff. How can you provide a response to parents for when they're thinking like that? Oh, I'll just wait. I'm not sick. I'm not sick today. I don't need to do anything today.
These are chronic diseases we're talking about. The clogging of the arteries is a slow, progressive process. The high blood pressure that pounds away at the arteries in the brain, leading to strokes, that pounds away at the kidney filters, that leads to kidney failure. These are slow, painless processes. You don't even know it's happening until the hammer comes down and you get the heart attack, you get the stroke. And again, it's the food, it's the food, it's the food. This is what I've been telling the medical students, the medical residents and surgical residents that in the medical schools that I've been lecturing at, and tell them the two most important truths to know in medicine that you're not being taught in school is one, the major chronic diseases you are spending the majority of your professional careers treating, the obesity, diabetes, clogged arteries, high blood pressure, inflammation. These are reversible diseases. Nobody told me that you can reverse high blood pressure, you can reverse type 2 diabetes. Why did someone tell me that? But these are clearly reversible. The medical literature is filled with reports of reversing it. And second, adopting a diet of whole plant foods is step one, is the key to reversing these diseases. Not all you have to do, but it's a key to reversing the diseases. And learn how to help your patients move to that type of eating in their food stream, in their food planning. And once this is understood, these diseases start going away. And that's exciting, and people save money. It's such a profound truth. So not to be afraid of this. And again, we're just talking about making or ordering the bean chili instead of the beef chili. It's not that big a sacrifice here. The food is, you can eat all you want. It's plant-based food that really doesn't stick to you. If you have a third bowl of vegetable soup, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's all fiber and water, passes right on through you without sticking to you. This is guilt-free eating, no calorie counting, no carb counting. Just eat till you're filled with these wonderful, as long as they're whole plant foods. If they're soups and salads and steamed veggies and bean burritos and curries and veggie curries, etc. you're going to wind up lean and healthy. So not to worry, protein deficiency is not an issue. The protein-rich foods, the legumes, etc. Make sure your growing child, has a helping of that in some form most days. Again, a hummus sandwich, a bean burrito, lentil stew, a bean chili. Get those legumes into them. Get them outside playing. Their body will know what to do. They're going to build lots of good muscle with that. They won't be protein deficient.
So, for a parent who's listening to us right now, and this may be the first time they're hearing these things, and it can be a lot, it can be overwhelming, it can be confusing. What resources do you think would be good for them? So, whether it's books or videos or documentaries or websites, what would be things that you could suggest that they continue to look at and read and check out for more information?
Absolutely. There's been some wonderful books and videos available these days. If you're just new to this altogether, go to do a Google search on forks over knives and go to their website. See this remarkable video of people with serious medical diseases, lupus, diabetes, high blood pressure, changing to a plant-based diet and getting healthy right before your eyes, and what the doctors are saying about it. It's life-changing, and their website is very good to help you transition. There are lots of transition plans and easy breakfasts and lunches and dinners. So that's a good resource. There's some wonderful jumpstart programs. Rochester Lifestyle Medicine, RLMI. They've got a wonderful jumpstart program to help you. Advice shows up in your inbox every day. PCRM, another set of initials, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They've got a wonderful 21-day jumpstart program to help you. And some excellent books. One is called Fiber Fueled by Dr. Will Bulskowitz. He's a plant-based gastroenterologist, and he sees that the lack of fiber, meat and dairy products have no fiber, and it's making us constipated and toxic, and getting that healthy fiber, the beans and the peas and the chickpeas and the fruits and the veggies into your food stream makes such a difference, changes your bowel function, changes your microbiome. So, and he's got a great food plan to help you make this transition. So get Fiber Fueled by Will Bulskowitz. And if you're an athlete, track down a video, I think on Netflix, called The Game Changers. You'll see these magnificent athletes, plant-based, showing you that, again, you don't have to eat a bull to be as strong as one. That's for sure.
That is quite true. Thank you. I hope really so much that our viewers just heard that and they really check out those things. I think the documentaries are so powerful, and I have watched every one of them so many times. And every time you watch it, you learn something new. Every time.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
I've heard you speak many times, and one of the things that I've really learned about you, which I think is amazing, because you're a doctor and you deal with lifestyle medicine and health and nutrition, but you're also super knowledgeable about world health or environment, sustainability. I love it when I hear you talk about those things. So I want to discuss how a plant-based diet benefits those things a little bit, if we could. Can you tell me the environmental benefits of a plant-based diet and how it contributes to sustainability efforts globally?
Oh my, how about all of our futures on the line here? The stakes could not be higher when it comes to the issue of plant-based diets, sustainability, etc. Why? Everybody knows that the world is getting hotter and the ice caps are melting and the storms are getting more violent. We all know that. And our attention's been all diverted. Oh, fossil fuels, fossil fuels. We got to stop burning those fossil fuels, get everybody an electric car, put solar panels on everybody's house, and we'll be fine. That's sadly misdirected and will ultimately lead to failure of the young people, which we are failing on a daily basis by not dealing with the truth of their situation. They're scared, and for good reason. As the CO2 is going up, the problem, yes, we absolutely need to decarbonize, and we should be running our cars and planes on hydrogen and solar power. Absolutely. Yay, let's get on with that. But the real issue involved is the fact, where's all this carbon dioxide really coming from, and why is it lingering in the air? Because there used to be, before us Homo sapiens got really arrogant, there used to be 6 trillion trees on planet Earth. And they would take carbon dioxide out of the air and turn them into solid wood. and keep the ecosystem in balance. Well, in the last 500 years, us folks, and I am proud in cynicism of my race, us white folks mostly, we looked at those 6 trillion trees and say, oh boy, that's a lot of lumber and money, and we have proceeded in the last 500 years to cut down half the trees on planet Earth. We've cut down 3 trillion trees, and we have burned them and taken that land, and now we are growing vast fields of corn and soybeans to shovel down the gullets of hundreds of millions of cows and pigs and chickens, which we slaughter in order to eat their flesh. And again, welcome to Camp Stop Kidding Yourself. When you drive to Iowa and you see all those miles of cornfields, that corn isn't going to tortillas and popcorn. That's animal fodder. They're growing cheeseburgers out on those fields. You drive through my home state of Illinois and Minnesota, you see miles and miles of soybeans. Those soybeans aren't going into tofu and tempeh. That's animal feed. And again, that's what we've traded these forests for. And we keep burning them in order to keep the forest will come back. If you just let them, the trees on the edge of the forest drop their seeds, and the forest will slowly expand. Don't even have to plant it; it'll come back, and that's what we need to do. We need to realize that sacrificing our forest for all these barren fields of corn and soybeans for animal flesh production has been a bad bargain. What we need to do is change to a plant-based diet. We'll need so much less land to feed ourselves. It takes 2 football fields of land to feed someone an American meat-based diet. And those same 2 football fields of land you planted in corn and beans and fruits and vegetables, you could feed 14 people. It's so much more efficient to use the land to grow plant foods to feed to people directly. That's what we need to do. We need to cut back on the land we're using by feeding ourselves on plants, let the forest come back, and as the trees grow, they take carbon dioxide out of the air and turn it into solid wood. It reverses global warming. It'll start rebalancing the ecosystem. Plus, the waters will run pure again without all the pesticides and manure sprayed on them. The soils will stop eroding off these corn and soybean fields, though the dead zones in the oceans will start to regress. The earth will heal for making this plant-based transition. And it would give the young people hope. And that's my great hope, is that it finally dawns on the young people. It's the meat that's killing us. It's the meat that we're eating. These burgers are killing us. Stop eating that stuff. Stop buying it. Stop eating it. And if we do that, the farmers and ranchers, God love them, will do something else with the land. Grow vegetables, grow lumber, grow hemp. Do something else with the land. Pay them to do this. Pay the mortgage on their house, send their kids to college, buy their seeds for them, give them crop insurance, help them transition what they're doing with the land. And no one needs to get thrown off their land. So it's all doable. We've got to make this plant-based transition. Got to be cool. We've got to make meat eating as uncool as cigarette smoking and wearing fur. Are you still eating that stuff? And if we do that, we'll make some big progress here. And Solid Rock is leading the way in that.
Yeah, so with Solid Rock, we're a small school, and we still served about 10,000 plant-based lunches this past year. And we're a small school, right? So how do you see that helping reduce the overall carbon footprint and promoting environmental stewardship among the students?
Oh, every plant-based meal is a statement, and there's it's hard to see it on a real-time basis. But the more people do that, the fewer animals are going to be raised and slaughtered in that factory farm system, because every one of those animals, every one of those cows and pigs and chickens, they're breathing out carbon dioxide. Their poop is decomposing into ammonia and to methane that are all adding to the global warming problem. As we stop eating some of these animals, there's going to be less demand, and United Poultries will be telling their growers, you only want to cut your new chicks down by half. The people public just aren't buying these anymore, and they're going to start cutting back and cutting back. And the example that sets will set that in motion. The educational value alone, every plant-based meal has an effect that ripples out. that young people, the example gets set. And God bless the internet. Boy, a good idea can get around the world in a couple of mouse clicks. And the example it sets, but we need some educational samurai to come up with the same way we're doing in the hospitals to get plant-based meals up to the patients and get those fast food restaurants out of the hospital lobbies. You guys in education need to go to the other schools and say, here's why it's important, health-wise, environmental-wise, but it's cheaper. You're going to save money. Beans are cheaper than beef. They always will be. You can make some dynamite chilies and veggie pizzas and things, and you're going to save money. We've got to educate the folks about the good example that Solid Rock sets. So we all have our work to do ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
And this podcast is part of those efforts. So I'm happy to be part of it.
Yes, yes. So do you have any thoughts on how a school can incorporate sustainability into their curriculum?
I think the New York system, they have a very active program in getting plant-based meals into schools and into boards of education. Anything you do, and there's no end of creative opportunities. In the cafeteria as the kids are going through, not only have the name of the dish, but here's the good things: how many trees got saved, how many animals didn't get slaughtered, why this particular, the nutrient value of this. And make every meal an educational opportunity. So you can do that, and again, show these videos. Once a week, have a video afternoon and show these consciousness-raising productions that you can't unring the bell. Once the students see that, oh my, I had no idea that's what really goes into these burgers and the suffering of the animals and the environment. I had no idea. Once you see that, once you look behind the curtain, you can't pretend you don't know what's behind the curtain.
There's a reason schools don't take field trips to slaughterhouses.
Exactly, right. Well, you don't have to, frighten the kids, but it's frightening.
Right. But, everybody will happily go to a garden.
Oh, that they will.
Right.
Will accentuate the positive.
For
Absolutely. Sure. That's where the magic really is.
This interview is going to follow with a part 2. Solid Rock Florida is a nonprofit organization dedicated to shifting the paradigm in education by integrating holistic and compassionate values into our curriculum. We're doing something unique, and we need your support to combat the challenges we face. Your help can stabilize these efforts and enable us to become a thriving model that others will want to replicate. Please visit solidrockflorida.org and click the donate button at the top of the page to see our current initiatives. You can choose which one you'd like to support and make a donation. Your tax-deductible contribution, no matter what the amount, is so greatly appreciated. You can also show your support and stay tuned for future episodes and initiatives by following Plant the Change on YouTube and Solid Rock on Facebook and Instagram, at Solid Rock Community School and at Sanctuary at Solid Rock. With your help, we can redefine the future of education. Until next time, let's continue to plant those seeds of change and build a brighter future for all. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep making a difference.